Hello and welcome to this Champions League final edition of the Rundown, where we look ahead to tomorrow's final taking place in Eindhoven between VfL Wolfsburg and FC Barcelona. And before we look ahead to the game itself, let's have a look at how each team got there. So looking at Wolfsburg, they are the only undefeated side in this season's competition. Throughout the whole way, they have yet to lose a game, beating the likes of St. Pölten, Slavia Praha and AS Roma in the group stages. And then they beat PSG by 2-1 on aggregate in the quarterfinals, and then beat Arsenal by 5-4 after extra time in the semi-finals. Whilst for Barcelona, they had the likes of Benfica, Rosengard and Bayern Munich in their group, and they only lost one game in that group stage phase, where they lost to Bayern Munich by 3-1. Then if we look at the quarter-final stage, they beat AS Roma by 6-1, although it was AS Roma's first time appearing in the knockout stages, and you could see the goal from quality in that second leg. And then in the semi-finals, they beat Chelsea by 2-1 in a game which I think they were always going to be the better side, despite Chelsea having some chances over the two legs. For me, it was always Barcelona's to win. So that is how we look ahead into the final taking place tomorrow. A bit on the game now, and for me, I think it's going to be a very close game between the two sides. It's too close to call. If we look at where I think the key battle is going to be won and lost, for me, it is in that midfield, because if you look at both sides' midfield, it's probably their strongest position. So you look at Wolfsburg, so you've got the likes of Lena Oberdorf, Lena Latvine, Sven JillRoord, JillRoord, that were playing in and around the middle. And then if you look at Barcelona's, obviously you've got Aitana Bonmatí, Kira Walsh, Patrick Guijarro, Mariana Caldente that could play there. Obviously you got AlexiaPutellas, who's now available to play in the final after recovering from her ACL injury. So if we look at this whole game in a hand, for me, where it's going to be, like I said, where it's going to be won and lost is that midfield, because otherwise you can look at different positions on the pitch and go, okay, this is where Wolfsburg have the advantage, this is where Barcelona have the advantage. So whoever gets the upper edge in that midfield battle, I think will win the game overall. Looking at the both sides heading into this game, for Barcelona, they haven't played since their season ended on the 21st of May, which was a 2-1 loss to Madrid CFF, which ended their perfect record in the Spanish division this season, whilst Wolfsburg only played last week on the 28th, finishing their German season as they beat Freiburg by 2-1. Unfortunately, obviously, they missed out on winning the German title to Bayern Munich. So that is one thing to take into consideration. Obviously, this was last season's semi-final legs, where Barcelona obviously ended up winning by 5-3 in the end over the two legs. They won the first leg 5-1, and then Wolfsburg won the second leg by 2-0. So they do have that recent matchup between the two sides, but obviously last season's games don't count for anything when we look ahead into this season's final itself. Obviously both sides are previous winners of the tournament. Barcelona more recently when they beat Emma Hayes' Chelsea a couple years back now, whilst it has been a long time since Wolfsburg were champions of the Champions League. So both sides know what it's like to play in a final and what the hard work it takes to get there. However, it is going to be a lot harder for either side to try and replicate their success of yesteryear, because of how hard the tournament is nowadays and how high quality both sides are. For me personally, looking at the game, I think it's too close to call. It wouldn't surprise me if this is one that potentially goes to extra time, if not penalties itself, because of how close it is going to be, and especially in that midfield battle, like I've said, with it is going to be a very, very close battle. So I think it's too close for me to decide who ends up winning that, and yeah, it wouldn't, like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if it does go all the way to penalties. Excuse me. So let me know in the comments section below what you think the prediction will be, and who you think will obviously lift the trophy in Eindhoven. The final itself obviously takes place at 3 PM BST or 4 PM European time on the DAZN YouTube channel, and obviously we will have our updates throughout the game and obviously reaction afterwards as we head to the final domestic tournament of this season before looking ahead to the World Cup, which obviously will have plenty of content out and around when that comes over the next month or so. In the meantime, drop a like and make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and make sure you're following us on Twitter and on Instagram for all the latest news and stories from around the world of women's football. In the meantime, we'll see you soon.